Hello, my name is Desiree, and I'm finally doing my Do It Scared, something from my Do It Scared list. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I recently posted a video reading my Do It Scared list because there was a lot on it that I haven't been doing. So yeah, but this part of the But this part that I will be talking about today is the mistakes I did when publishing my book. And this has been a long time coming, this video, and I'm breaking it into 3 parts. And so I have my water near me. I have the notebook to know what I'm going over. I have my book. And I have my example book, which is another poetry book that's not mine. And I haven't read it yet, sadly, but it is another example book that will help me compare and contrast some things I will go over. So yeah, let's start the video. Well, the video is already going, but let's get into it. Yeah. Okay. So some things I do want to say is that I feel like I may be all over the place because this is me like finally going over it. And so I want to make sure I say everything or share everything and don't miss anything out, don't leave anything out. But of course, if I do, I'll either have editing Desiree jump in, I'll either put text about it, or it'll just be moved to the other videos because like I said, this will be broken into 3 parts. And today's part is all about the external. So that means cover. I want to say that's it, but I guess it could also mean kind of like the details or process of publishing, and I didn't think about that till right now. So I guess that's why I'm kind of nervous for this video, because it'll be a lot of me just talking randomly, because in my notebook I just have a list of points, but I don't have like actual like what am I gonna say, what I'm gonna talk about, because it's better if I just speak about it like while the video is happening. So that's why I feel like I'll be jumbling my words a lot. But let me just start. I know, I'm sorry I'm taking so long. Okay, so if you don't know, when I first published my book, it was only on Amazon KDP as just a physical book. There still is no ebook for it on Amazon or any other platform besides my website. So if you want to go to storiesbydesiree.mailerpage.com, you can find a link. You are able to buy my ebook there, and that is through BookFunnel, and it's $3. Words. It's gonna be hard for me today, but thank you for bearing with me. All right, so first on the list is the cover. So if I'm speaking about the cover, we have to go back to the original cover when it was published. And this is the original cover when it was published. And there is nothing wrong with this in the sense that the photo looks nice. The design and the layout of my book I liked. And I do have an unboxing video if you would like to see that. I have a playlist of unboxings I have done. But what so many authors or so many authorpreneurs say, especially Monique Mensa, and if you don't know Monique Mensa, she has an Instagram, she has a Facebook group, and she is just very blunt, very helpful, and very honest about publishing your book, knowing your brand, knowing your why, knowing how to connect to your audience, but also knowing what sells for not only newcomers, but indie authors versus what sells for people that have been in the industry for a while or are very known people or authors. And so with that being said, she pointed out that do people in the world know you? When they see that face, will that make them want to buy that book? I am not Oprah. I am not a famous known celebrity. So my face on the book, and another book that just came to mind is Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. Her face is on that cover. But me, no one knows me. And that's okay. That's real. And so half of my idea was like, but they could. But the other half of it is like, what sells? And so what sells and what I have seen for poetry book is illustrations, or it is a person on the cover, but again, they are illustrated. And so that's why, and I should know the number of when I finally switched the cover, or not the number, I should know the date of when I finally switched the covers of my book, but I don't. But I'll just look it up and I'll put it here. But when I did finally switch covers, it became this. And my cover designer was my brother, so I did not have to pay. And that was so nice of him. I might have given him something, though. I honestly don't remember because it was a while ago. But because I was with because it was my brother, I did not have to pay or find a cover designer. So I was happy about that. And so having him change it, yes, I still had to work with his schedule because he has a schedule. He was also, I believe, in college at the time, and so he was balancing that, balancing his editing and things he was doing. But I asked him, could he do it for an illustration instead of me as a photo? And I think he did a good job, but he thinks he could have did better with tracing and doing the illustration. But I really liked it and I was happy with it. And so I decided this cover, and now I'm going to show you my example one, because this book is as an example, and this is by Tariona Tink Ball. She is a singer. Sorry for the light glare. There we go. That's a little better. But this is her, but as an illustration. And I've seen this with other poetry books as well, where it's an illustrated version of that author. And I believe that sells more, or that is more common in this field, or in poetry books, for poetry book covers. And so that's why I switched it. And so that was one of my mistakes, because I first did my face, and while that is okay, you have to think about how, or I had to think about how I'm new to publishing, and I'm a new author, and so not many people know me. And so seeing this face, yes, is nice, and yes, it looks interesting, but because they don't know me, will it really make them want to get to know me? Or is this better because it's already something that's similar in the field? So yeah, that was something just to take note of. And if you're curious about these, I went to open mics recently, like last month. And so I have these sticky notes for which poems I was reading. All right, so let's go over number 2. Yes. So look at my spine. Look at the spine of my book. It is tiny. And that's valid and that's fair. But I still am like, should I have put something on the spine? But if I truly think about it, and I don't know if I have a book that's as tiny as mine, I probably do, but I would have to look for it because it's in a box somewhere. Like all my books are in boxes right now because I don't have a bookshelf currently. And so it'd be great when I finally get to put my books on a bookshelf. Fun fact, for the first time, because I've never had a bookshelf. And so it'll be amazing when I finally get my first bookshelf. But so I'll either find you an example or I won't. But with a spine, You can have the name of the book when it's on, oh, there we go. When it's on a bookshelf. You can have a logo. And is there anything else? Yeah. And you can have your name or your last name. Sorry that that's not coming too clear, but it says ball. And I think that's good because when it's on a bookshelf, you'll get to know, oh, what is that book? Or who is the publishing company? Or who is the author? And so that's always helpful because books are not always facing forward. But of course, it's fine if you don't have anything on the spine because it's I guess you could say it's normal to have something, but it's also there are traditionally published books that don't have anything on the spine. And so I just thought because my spine's so tiny, it's not worth even trying to put something on it, but it would be cool to do that. So that was one thing of the external that I thought about. And number 3, my subtitle. So what a lot of authors or even like people that market and just the process of making a book, they say the subtitle should add interest and add value to the story. If it doesn't, then you don't need that subtitle. If it doesn't make the reader want to read it more, or like it's like an intriguing line, then you don't need it. And sadly, I would say my subtitle is, I gotta read it, Reflecting on My Life. And when I first created the subtitle, I thought it was just like, oh, I just have to say more about the book. And so that's what it is reflecting on my life. But that doesn't give insight on like what part of my life, what about my life. So it didn't add value. But when I got feedback about it, it was too late. And I guess I'm thinking, how was it too late if I did go to an editor before I published it? Because even when I uploaded on Amazon KDP for getting proof copies, I don't know if they make, if once you put it in, you can't delete or change a subtitle. That may be it, and that may be why I didn't change the subtitle. But I just know I was already too late and I couldn't take it back or delete it. Or maybe, because this is a part of my personality, I was stubborn. And I was just like, no, I'm going to keep it. I like it. I want it. And so it stayed, but I do understand and see now how it doesn't add to my book. It's fine and it's good, but it doesn't add to it. And so I just see it as a mistake. I don't see it as a regret, but it is a mistake. And so if you're thinking about having a subtitle, just make sure it piques your reader's curiosity or it adds to the message, the point, the heart of the story or poetry collection or whatever it is. Yeah. And then that's my top 3 that I had for external. But then thinking about just in general and my process with Amazon KDP, and that may be in like a later video. I may actually like break it down and talk about this more. But I feel like I did well with researching a lot about like what is the Amazon KDP process. I watched a lot of YouTubers, a lot of author YouTubers that showed their process, that showed the pros and that talked about the pros and cons, that walked you through it, and it was very helpful. But there's always some things you won't catch because you can't watch all the videos. They're extremely helpful. And even if you do watch all the videos, you may miss something, you may forget something. And that's just a part of the learning process. And so I feel like a mistake I made And I don't know if it's a mistake yet, but it's just a part of the learning process, because I knew I didn't want my books to be under my publishing name, I guess you could say. Like my author name is Desiree Moten, like that's that. But I didn't want it to be published through Amazon, because Amazon, if you publish it using the free ISBN on Amazon, then technically it's like, it's not, I don't know how to word it. You can't publish it anywhere else because you have it as Amazon ISBN. So you would have to do like a second edition and then buy your own ISBN and publish it. Say if you wanted to publish it on Barnes & Noble or through Ingram Spark or through Lulu. But to eliminate that process, I just brought my own ISBNs, because a lot of authors do recommend that. And they recommend, instead of buying one, which costs, I don't know the price right now, but it's beneficial. And I'll just show the price of 1 versus 10. But it's beneficial to buy 10 for that price versus 1 for that price, because 1 is like 100 and something or 200, while buying 10, I believe, is 200 or 100 and something. I could be very wrong. That's why I'm going to just put up the prices. But yeah. And so I bought my own ISBN, and so now I can just publish it across platforms without having that issue of like, oh, it's technically Amazon's, and I can, or not technically Amazon's because it's mine. I wrote the book. But technically I wouldn't have been able to post it or publish it anywhere else unless like you did another edition or something like that. And so that just comes with research. Like I said, research, YouTube, because YouTube is very helpful. There are a lot of helpful authors out there. And I'm grateful for all I did learn and all I am learning of the process of publishing. Is there anything else I would like to say before I end this video and we just do part 2 another time? I don't think so. What else? If you have questions, you can leave it below. If you would like to read my poetry book, it is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Bookshop, and my website, storiesbydesiree.mailerpage.com or payhip.com/storiesbydesiree. So yes, it's linked below. I would appreciate it. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for part 2 and part 3 of the mistakes I made when publishing my first poetry book, or my first book. Thank you again for watching, and don't forget, just write your story, and take care.